Hello, my name is Joyce Runyon, and I'm with the Quake County Health Council's Healthy Eating Active Living Committee. And we're bringing a soup series to you all for these winter months. So today, what I'm making for you is a chicken spinach tortellini soup. And this will be really fast and super simple. So I love to use canned chicken because it's a real easy product to have in your pantry at all times. You can pull it out and use it in so many things. Normally, I would drain this, but since this is soup, I think it's okay to keep my liquids. So for me, inferno. The big thing with using the canned chicken is that you really want to break it up so that it doesn't look like it's just clumps of chicken. And I'll do that a little bit, and then I'll add in my spices. And we're going to use basil today. I've got the Himalayan sea salt and some black pepper. So your spices are really very minimal. And then we'll add in our broth and the spinach, and those will finish off our soup. And this really should come together in like maybe 20 to 30 minutes, and you will have a hot piping soup ready to serve to your family. So I have had a recent interest in making sure of everything that I'm eating, and the best way to do that is to read your food labels. So when I was looking for my stock, my chicken broth to put in, I was reading my labels, which we should all do. And I noticed, very shockingly, that one of the box brands had honey added to it. And the rest of the box brands just had sugar added to it. So if you're trying to watch your carbohydrates, which is what a sugar winds up being for you, you're going to want to make sure that you're reading your labels so that you're getting the things you think you're getting. So I'm going to put in some basil. And I'm going to use a teaspoon, but I'm going to put it in the palm of my hand. We also want to make sure that when we are making food that we follow food safety. So you didn't see me do this, but I did wash my hands before I started making my soup today. That's a great way to make sure your family stays healthy when you're fixing food for them. So I've got my basil. I think I'll put a little bit more just because I like basil. And really, most of the seasonings and spices you put in are based to your taste. So it's okay if you put a little bit more or maybe a little bit less of something you don't like. So mine called for garlic powder, but I like to have real garlic, and I like a lot of garlic. So I'm probably putting in more than my recipe says. And I guess really for me, I see a recipe as a guideline and not something I absolutely have to follow. For me, I guess the best bet is to follow it the first time and then make my adjustments after that if it's something that my family liked and enjoyed. So as you see, most of my liquid from my chicken has gone away, and so that's fine. I'm going to put in now some Himalayan salt. And I don't usually put in salt in anything I cook because I think people should be able to add what they would like. And then I'm going to grind up some black pepper and put that in as well. And then I will put in my spinach. So this calls for a bag of frozen spinach. You could use fresh spinach if you have spinach in your refrigerator that's maybe on its last leg. It's a good thing to put it in your soup. You're not wasting anything. You're still getting all those great vitamins and nutrients out of your spinach. So my spinach is in. I'm going to add my chicken broth. So I did do 1 can. I was surprised that the cans did not have extra sugar added to them. So that was a little surprising for me because the same brand in the box had sugar. And then this was a new product that I saw on the shelf, and I like these a little bit spicy, so I'm trying this. And it's just a spicy chicken broth. So we'll see how spicy it is, because I was actually going to add some red chili pepper flakes. You could still do that in your bowl. You could add a little bit of hot sauce. You could add some cayenne pepper if you chose to do that. So let me put the rest of this in here. And we'll give it a stir. And my recipe also called for frozen tortellini. Normally you find that readily at your supermarket. We didn't have it available here in town. So I'm using a fresh pasta. So that means it'll take a little bit less time to use the fresh pasta instead of the frozen. So that's good for us. That means we get to eat a little bit sooner. And again, I said that I was really paying attention more to what I'm eating and watching my carbohydrates. And so I know that this tortellini has probably more carbohydrates than I would just eat regularly. So what I would do for me to be able to have this is I'd probably put fewer tortellini in my bowl, maybe just a couple, and I'd probably cut them up so I had more bites of tortellini in my soup. So even if you're on a low-carb diet, there are ways that you can still partake of foods that might be a little bit higher than what you'd normally want. So what I will do, I'm going to cover this. I'll add in my tortellini. We'll cover it, we'll let it simmer, and then we'll come back and have some soup. Okay, so it's been probably about 20 minutes or so. If you use the frozen tortellini, you're going to watch, and once they start floating, then that's going to be the time that you say, oh, those are done. So I'm going to take off my lid. And again, I shared with you that I'm watching my carbohydrates. So for my bowl, I'm mostly going to get me some spinach, some chicken, some broth, and probably just that one little tortellini that's right there. And then if you wanted to, you could serve this with some bread. You could have it on the side of another main dish if you wanted to have that. And I'm going to have me a taste of my little tortellini. See how hot my new broth was. See if it really is spicy. And if not, I'll add red chili pepper flakes. So it is a little spicy, so that's good. That'll be a broth I use again, especially because it has no added sugar. So I hope you've enjoyed this recipe, and I hope you'll give it a try with your family, and that you stay warm and cozy this winter season with a good bowl of soup.